Welcome back, guys. Today we are going to take you along as we plant some potatoes in our garden. And yes, we are a little late planting our potatoes this year, which that is okay because we had a move and some other stuff happening in our family life, so it's just better late than never, and we're gonna get them in the ground and see what happens and see what kind of harvest we can get. So the first thing I did was I cut some of these potatoes in half, making sure there's at least 2 eyes, which were the starts of the green stems coming out, and then I let them harden, just laid out for a few days to harden on the outside. Others I just left be if they were smaller. So there's a lot going on this one. We should definitely get a plant out of that. I have 2 varieties of potatoes here. I have the russets, this regular russet potatoes, and then I have some red potatoes. These potatoes are not seed potatoes. I actually just went to the organic section at the grocery store and bought organic, just regular potatoes. So we're gonna see how this goes. Last year I did this and it worked perfectly fine. We didn't have any issues. So I really think that we'll be okay this year too. As for my location, I just roughed up some ground right here next to one of my beds that I noticed the soil was a little high. And then I added some in-ground potting soil that I still had and just left that on there and kind of mixed it in a little bit. I'll probably come back and add some compost once I get it. And then I'm gonna layer straw across all of it just to give it a good moisture, helps the moisture stay in the ground as they are growing. I'm going to be planting these about every 6 to 8 inches because I have a lot in a small space, and I'm just going to kind of just jam them in here and see how they do. So we'll just, that's my, how I garden is see how it goes. Just do it and see how it goes. Putting every 2 seconds. As a kid, I was super interested in growing things and taking pictures. I take like my little camera and take pictures of flowers. And when I like to experiment with planting seeds, like sunflower seeds, and seeing how they'd grow. And when I was younger, once my parents had some potatoes that had sprouted like this, and I took them without telling my parents and put them in some soil next to their deck and forgot about them. And a little bit later on, my dad found them and was like, "What is this?" And we actually dug them up, and they grew into potatoes, and we were able to eat them. So from like a really young age, I've been interested in growing, and it's just cool to see like how something so young in your life can start out a passion and then grow into something more. So yeah, it really doesn't take much to grow potatoes. I think really anybody can do it. So I have a few left, and I'm gonna put these in a grow bag. I just gotta go get some soil for it, and I'll grow some in a grow bag. So we'll be able to see the difference between growing in grow bag and growing in ground, which I prefer in ground because I think they grow bigger and better. But these are done now, and we're just going to put some straw on top and give them a good water, and they'll be good to go. We just wait for them to pop up. Things I've gotten done over the last few days was I've got some of my spinach, or I guess kale, spinach, and lettuce that I had started in my winter sowing tubs, and I got those transplanted into some of the beds. I have just kind of cleaned up the garden a little bit, still got some work to do. We need to add a fence around the whole garden bed area, so I need to order some supplies and get that put together so the goats will not come into my garden and ruin all my hard work. So that is in the works. We are still battling ants on the 2 big beds. If you have any suggestions on how to get rid of fire ants inside of raised garden beds without harming your soil or compromising the chemical, like I don't want chemicals on it, I just want it to be natural, but also to get rid of and keep away fire ants. So if you have any suggestions, drop in the comments. I'd be really happy to try something and see if we can get rid of them. So that's kind of my hold up right now with those flower beds, is trying to get the ants out of them so I can finish planting those. But that is pretty good so far. I think I've gotten quite a bit done recently, and I'm feeling really good about this gardening season so far. If you are looking to start potatoes, I say go for it. It's really easy, and I really feel like it's a great beginner's thing to start with. Thanks for joining us today as we got our potatoes in the ground. We hope that you will catch us on the next video as we continue to get this garden in working order this summer.